I'm Kit, and this is Caleb.
And we're the Trophy Bros.
Welcome to our podcast.
Listen as we share our crazy,
Off the wall,
and oftentimes ridiculous thoughts.
enjoy the episode.
Boom. Welcome back to Trophy Bros Podcast. I'm Caleb. This is Kit. And today we're going to be checking it. We're going to be talking about hustling. Today's episode is called Every Day I'm Hustling. Hustling. Yeah, so today we're going to be looking at what it means to hustle and why we hustle.
Absolutely.
So we're going to jump right on into this, and we're going to talk about it. When you hear the word hustle, what comes to mind? What kind of generates in your mind, Kit, when you hear the word hustle?
Man, what hustling to me is just getting down and dirty and doing whatever it takes to get the job done.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, to me, there's no other explanation to that.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever it takes to get it done.
Yeah. Man, I love it. Like when I instantly think of like the coach in Little League, the coach on the football field, baseball field. It's just like, come on, Crouch, hustle. Like just constantly on your tail telling you to hustle. Man, and I love it. I appreciate hustle so much on the athletic field.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, when I see effort that's going, I would much rather have.
It's an easier loss.
Yeah.
If you do lose, you know what I'm saying?
I would much rather have athletes who are less talented that give you everything that they got than a handful of talented athletes who just basically just go off sheer talent and give you just
no effort.
Yeah, no effort. And I love the talent. I mean, I love talent, don't get me wrong. But I would much rather have grit. I would much rather have somebody who is just going to go as hard as they can until the final whistle or until the final out of a game. I mean, I just love having that kind of energy and that hustle. And it's not necessarily hustle for themselves. It's hustle for the team. It's hustle for everybody else. Yep. And so when I hear the word hustle, man, it's motivation for me.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
And it spreads. So. For me, when I hear that, though, it is a motivating factor. So, but I don't know, is there anything else that when you hear the word hustle that comes to mind?
Well, I mean...
Hustle and flow?
Well, that, and, I mean, obviously the rap song, but, I mean, you think of kind of getting hustled as well, and so it's kind of...
Bull shark?
Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of like you got to, it's a double-edged sword sometimes, and so you just gotta be careful of what kind of hustle you're talking about. So
getting hustled.
Yeah, for sure.
Getting hustled. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I got to say I've kind of been on that too. Like every now and then I kind of play it a little low.
Oh yeah.
Especially like when I'm playing some basketball.
Yeah, for sure.
With somebody that I don't know, and they kind of look at me and like, dude, you look like you're like a middle-aged old white guy. You look like you're out of shape.
Yeah.
And so I play that up a little bit, and then
for sure, you got to.
And then whoop-a-pow.
Especially when those young whippersnappers think they can just do whatever.
And I go like under the leg layups, like little razzle bedazzle, like woo, finger roll.
Then that's like ping pong too.
Yeah.
I mean, youth workers are always good.
Yeah.
At ping pong.
Like I minored in ping pong. Like that's youth ministry. Minor in ping pong.
Yeah.
Minor in pizza making.
Yeah. Pizza buying.
Yeah.
Like it. Yeah.
Calculating how much pizza to buy for a youth group.
Right.
Yeah. That's my mathematics.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so hustling, getting hustled. Yeah. I see that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I love it on the field, on the court. I mean, in other aspects, but also, I don't know, in the business world.
Yeah.
I think that's something too that transcends, like especially when you're growing up in an athletic phase of life, but also I think as you get older, that mentality of hustling, kind of being scrappy, it transcends into the business world too. And I've seen that play out in my life, and not necessarily for me, but I've seen it play out in people that I know who have just been scrappy.
Oh, absolutely.
And we'll get to that here in a second, but in people that we've known that's just hustled in their life.
Yeah.
And man, I admire that.
Yeah.
and I wish I could be more like that too myself.
Yes, for sure.
And so I see that play out in that aspect too. But so kind of going into that, what's your greatest motivator is it, I don't know, I guess money?
Well, to me, like, I am considered self-employed.
Yeah.
It's more of my time that motivates me. And that gives, like I've said before on other podcasts before, is that I get to be the husband and the father that I've always wanted to be.
Yeah.
Because of my job. And so that keeps me motivated, keeps me hustling, keeps me doing what I do so I could be,
absolutely
the dad that's the coach, and all this other stuff. And so my time is my motivator.
Absolutely.
Me. Like I said, like we said we make a living and we survive really well. It's not like I'm making buku's money.
Yeah.
But it's more my time.
Oh yeah.
So that's mine.
Well, time is invaluable.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so that's something I'll never get back with my kids. And so that's why I'm just living in it right now.
Yeah. I mean, you got to have money to survive and to make ends meet. Money, you have to purchase food, and you got to make your mortgage and stuff like that. But man, if you're not doing stuff that you love, then
for sure.
I mean, then you're going to be miserable.
Yep.
So I get that totally. Yeah, and for me, motivation is time and love, and it's enjoyment.
Yeah.
If you're not enjoying what you do, then man, find something else to do.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's not the most desirable job, like sitting on a mower, but to me, I enjoy it because one, I kind of get my alone time.
Yeah.
Away from my kids, away from all the chaos and stuff, and I do get to spend a lot of quality alone time with God, and pray and listen to worship music and do all this other stuff that I really enjoy. Listen to other podcasts, listen to sports. I mean, it's honestly, it's peaceful just to kind of sit there. Even at the hospital, it's like 67 acres. I mean, that's a long time to kind of just sit there and kind of clear your mind a little bit. And so to me, it is peaceful.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes, yes, it is stressful. It is like, oh, I got to get done because I got this to do. I got this to do.
Yeah.
But for the most part, like I said, it's not probably the most desirable, but I enjoy it.
Yeah, but that's the thing that too. It's a choice for you because you went to school, you have a degree, and your degree is in what?
I'm a licensed pharmacy tech.
Yeah. So it's like completely different.
Yeah.
It's like you have a degree that you could be making considerably more money doing something else.
Yeah.
But you've chosen to do that because your time is worth more, and the joy you get from doing something else and spending time with your family.
Oh, absolutely.
And so to me, when I see that, when I ask you what your greatest motivator is, it's your family. And it's your time with your family.
Yeah.
And I think that's amazing. And to me, I get it. I get it at 100%. To me, that's one of the things that it is for me. And I think it's not only that, I think it's your faith too, as you talked about it too. It's like your time for you to be able to spend on that mower in prayer and listening to devotionals and podcasts. Yeah. And I mean, that's huge. And that to me is the same thing. It's my faith. That's one of my greatest motivators is for what I do is to be able to do a job that gets to share the gospel.
Yeah, absolutely.
And for me, that's my greatest thing. And I get to do that with my kids. I get to work in student ministry where my kids are at right now. My wife gets to be a part of that and involved in that. And so for me, that is 100%, where I'm at and what I love about doing that. I love money, and I say I love money. I like money. I like to spend money. I like the things that it gets me and those
Very
things.
True. I mean, that is nice.
I like nice things.
Yeah.
As you can see, we have nice microphones.
Yeah,
we have nice studs and all these great things, nice hats. Yeah. But it's not the things that drive us. If we didn't have these things, I feel like I would be completely content.
Oh yeah, me too.
All right, so why I feel like when we see people that are hustling, and I see this a lot too, that there are some straight up haters. Like when I look out and I see guys who are hustling out on the field, I see that there's some people that are full of resentment.
Yeah.
Like they're straight up hating. It's like, man, why are you a try hard? I see my son who is I'll brag on my son. My son is a hustler. He gets out there, he works hard, he tries. I mean, he even though he may not be the most physique gifted player, he works hard. He works out. He goes out there. He's a baseball player. He goes out to the batting cage. He works diligently because he doesn't have the physique to do those things. But he hustles. And so there's guys out there that call him try hard. And I mean, I'm like, dude, and he comes back, has his feelings hurt a little bit. I was like, dude, why are you getting your feelings hurt?
Yeah.
I'm like, to me, that's a compliment.
Yeah.
But it is, but they're just hating.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm so like, why is hustle hated by some?
You know, that's a tough question to answer, and a tough question to ask, really. I mean, they're intimidated, I think, to be completely honest. Intimidation plays a big factor. I mean, you think about it. I mean, who's going to earn that starting spot? And if we're talking about athletics, or if you're talking about the business side, who's going to get the business?
Oh, yeah.
The people that are out there hustling.
Oh, yeah.
And so, you know, the people, like we've said earlier, the people with the sheer talent, yeah, they look good, but I'd rather have a bunch of kids that hustle than a bunch of kids that just try to survive off pure talent.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think the same thing is true in the business world, too. I want somebody who's going to go out there and hustle to earn my business.
Absolutely.
Than somebody who's just going to, I turned and found you in the yellow pages. And
yeah.
I want somebody who is going to go out there and solicit and who is going to go out there and try to earn my business. So, and I think the same is true. I think there's some jealousy, though, too.
Yeah.
You know. And I see it too, to where guys who have gone out and they've hustled and they've worked hard and they've worked so hard to where they've earned a spot to where somebody has just been given a spot, and so they feel like it's been taken away from them. That spot's been taken away from them. But in all actuality, it's just been earned. They've worked for it. They've put in the hard work, the diligent effort into that. But on the flip side of that. You know, I mentioned earlier that I love that. I love the hustle.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's hated by some, but it's endured by others. Why is it so endured?
I mean, who wouldn't want somebody that's just given everything they got?
Yeah, it's like a love story.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, honestly, if you think about it, it really is.
I mean, who wouldn't want to be pursued?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
and that's a Hallmark movie waiting to happen.
Yeah.
You know? So, I mean, who wouldn't?
Well, I mean, it's like almost what every well-known sports movie is about.
Oh, yeah.
It's like Rudy.
Yep.
I mean, that's like the epitome of a hustle movie right there.
For sure.
The home dude was hustling every day, even when he got knocked down, even when he was told he was no good. He hustled. He got knocked down. I mean, bloodied.
Yeah. And just kept fighting.
Rocky.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, he got ground up into a pile of meat and still got up and kept on going.
Yeah. Still said Adrian every time.
Adrian. You would think his tongue got ground up in the meat.
Yeah, man. For sure.
All right, so here comes kind of more of a more personal question, one to kind of think on here. Could you start your own business? And what would keep you from doing so if you think you couldn't? Or let's just answer the first question. Could you start your own business? You kind of already do. I know it's not really yours per se.
It's not mine. It's my father-in-law's. But I mean, I think I could. But then again, it's just I know like when stuff like that happens. Like I've always wanted to own or manage my own restaurant, but to do that, like you have to be married to it almost. And like I said, my time, I really value my time. So that's the thing that's kept me or would keep me from doing it.
I'm a big King of Queens.
Yeah.
I always think Doug's Sandwich Shop. And you name your sandwiches after your friends.
Yeah.
Like, would you name a sandwich after me?
Sure.
All right.
The Caleb Deluxe.
Club Deluxe.
There you go.
The Club Deluxe.
No, but I've always wanted like a barbecue joint or
A
something.
barbecue joint. That's
Yeah.
what was going to be my next question. What kind of food would it be? Barbecue, huh?
Yeah, for sure. Smoking Bros, man.
Smoking Bros.
Yeah.
All right. What would keep you from doing that? Was it just the time?
Yeah, at the time, because
Being
my
married to.
father, my dad. I say my father. That sounds weird. My dad at the time, like a long time ago,
Your daddy.
he used to be the manager at K-Bob's
Yeah.
when we had a K-Bob steakhouse here,
Yeah.
and just the amount of time, and it wasn't even like his. He was just the manager, but just the amount of time
Yeah.
that went into that was crazy, astronomical. I mean, he was up there all the time, and I mean, it was just, and I don't want to be away from my family that much.
But what if your family was involved in it, though?
Still, I wouldn't want my kids up there doing that.
Huh?
So
But what if it was a different kind of business?
I just don't know what other business I'd be doing.
All right.
I mean, I could be a drug dealer, being a pharmacy tech, maybe. I don't know.
There you go.
I mean,
Be a drug baby.
yeah,
Shout out to Scott Phillips.
yeah, on that one.
Scott Phillips, just so you know, when we were doing deacon orientation or ordination, his very first testimony, he said he was a drug baby. His parents drug him to church every day of his life.
And that
So
was hilarious.
yeah, so drug baby, not actually a drug like as in an illegal drug.
But yeah, what would yours be if you could start your own?
I don't know if I could start my own business, or could I start my own business? I would. If I could I start my own business? I would say I would be terrified. I don't know if I could start my own business. I would need a lot of encouragement.
Yay, go do it, Caleb.
I would need, well, I don't know if I would need a lot of encouragement. I would appreciate a lot of encouragement from you, Kit, but I would need a lot of encouragement, more so from my wife and kids.
Right.
Just to know that they would support me in that, because like you said, it would take a lot of time, and I don't know exactly what it would be. I would love to say that it would be something that could engage my family. That way it would not rob me from or seclude me from my family. But I'm terrified that it would take me away. So that's the only concern that I would have for me. So for me to say that, could I do it? I think I could. But I'm afraid I'm one of those that I'm going to jump in with both feet.
Oh yeah.
And,
I mean, that's the only way to do it, though.
Yeah. And I'm going to do it so hard, and I'm going to do it so as 100% as much as I can, that I'm afraid I would neglect every single thing else. And
completely understand.
And I don't want to be that way.
Yeah.
And so that's the only thing that I would be concerned about. So, but the next question I had is, what would you do and what would you call it? And you kind of answered that question for me. For me, I don't know. I don't know what I would do. I think I have some things that I like that I could do. I've thought, well, I've done it before. I've gone and I've spoken at camps and stuff like that. So I could be a communicator, a speaker,
right.
And just go do that. I mean, do five messages and travel and do those 5 messages for like 3 months, and then that would be easy. But I also enjoy being more creative in the graphic design stuff, and that aspect too.
You've helped me out a bunch here lately,
and so I enjoy being creative in that aspect too. So I could see those things, but then I like doing stupid stuff too, like doing marketing stuff. Like I would make like cake in a jar. Like pre-made stuff. Like you can make cupcakes. Like it'd be baby food jars with like pre-made cakes. So all you got to do is put that baby food jar in the oven. It would make cake in that jar. Cake in a jar.
Yeah.
And make a little cake in a jar. Make a little jingle.
Yeah, I can see that too.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I do. Huh?
What would you call them?
What would I call them? Cake in a jar.
No, like your other business name.
I don't know. Me and my brother's like real creative. He's one of my guys that I admire. His name is Josh. Caleb and Josh were 2 good spies. And so at one point we thought about, hey, we're going to go into business together. We're going to call ourselves the 2 good spies. So Joshua and Caleb. So, But then I did a little bit more biblical research, and that Caleb was probably more of the slave to Joshua, and so I didn't really like that.
Oh man,
I don't want to be a slave to my brother.
although he's a younger brother, so that kind of just plays into that.
It does. I don't like that so much.
Unfortunately, gosh, that's awful.
Yeah. So that's I don't know. I love my brother, but I don't know. I enjoy those things, and so there's a ton of things that I would love to do.
Yeah,
Part of me thinks I would love to kind of just have a more physical job and not be such a mental thing, or be so creative, just to go out and just be hands-on like what you do and go mow. And not to say that it's mindless, but it's more physical to go and sit on a mower and mow and do those things and be more physical too. And I think I would enjoy that to a certain degree too.
Till it's 120 outside.
Yeah, till it's 120. Because I've been with you. I've helped dig some sprinkler systems when it's like blazing hot.
Yeah, that's awful.
And then I'm very thankful that I have a degree.
Rock.
Yeah, I'm thankful that I have a degree that sits me in an air conditioning office.
Yeah.
So, all right. So moving on. What is the greatest yet best? Wait. What is the greatest yet most basic invention?
Man, this was a tough one.
Yeah. So this was like the most genius hustle. I forgot that I even asked this question.
I know this one sounds really stupid, but the twisty tie.
Twisty tie?
I mean, what good does it really do?
Well, I mean...
But how many twisty ties do you see?
I mean, like there's one there holding the mic cable on here. I mean...
But you know what I'm saying? Like...
One. I mean, yeah. I have
the
one.
guy that made...
Twisty ties.
Yeah. I mean, that's crazy to think.
Yeah. Patent twisty tie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. It's just kind of like, why?
Yeah.
Like, what made him like, I need a twisty tie for this?
Yeah.
So, to me, that was it.
You ready for mine?
Yeah. You gonna say sliced bread?
No.
Okay, good.
Toilet paper.
Yeah, I can see that.
Toilet paper hasn't changed.
Yeah.
It still comes on a roll. The only thing that's changed is its thickness. The ply. I mean, what? It's basic. You wipe your hiney with it.
Yeah.
I mean, now you get like the super thin, and you go to wipe and it like busts through like a bunch of linebackers through like a banner on homecoming. Yeah. And then you're like, all right, like Charlie in the Chocolate Factory, like that little fat kid that falls into the chocolate river.
He gets stuck, yeah.
And sucks up and is like, hello, little Chocolate Factory kid.
Yeah.
I didn't realize
Augustus.
Yeah.
Augustus
Gloot. Yeah.
But yeah, no.
Yeah.
That's a good one too.
Toilet paper. The most basic yet greatest invention. Where would we be without toilet paper?
You know, that is a great question. Like, what would you be wiping your honey with?
Yeah. Well, I remember going on an Israel trip, and we went to one of the Roman ruins there, and they explained to us what they used was like part of a plant, and I don't know if I'd want to use that. They also talked about a stick too, and
a stick.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Romans were very.
That sounds awful.
Romans were very. It was like a sponge, like a communal sponge on a stick. But how sanitary was that? Yeah. All right, this next question though, is one that I've often wondered. Like, how far are we from this? Will AI ruin people's ability to have a hustle?
Absolutely. I saw just yesterday, as a matter of fact, that
for those who don't know what AI is, it's artificial intelligence.
Yes.
And it is almost everywhere. Like if you are writing a text message on your phone and you see it automatically start to finish your text message or give you suggestions, that is considered AI.
Yeah. Well, they got the robot bar in Las Vegas already.
Oh yeah, what is that about?
It's a robotic arm that makes all your bar drinks already.
What?
Yeah. And so, but
if I drank, that might be cool.
Yeah, me too. I don't drink either. But I saw yesterday. I don't know. I want to say New York or something like that. It's got to be in a bigger town. But it was on like USA Today or something that there is an AI fast food joint starting. They had one employee, and her job was to put the burgers together, like put the top bun on the burger. Everything else was done by robotic AI
She
people.
just goes like,
She
voila.
So
There you go.
they had robotic arms doing the fries, cooking the burgers, putting everything on the burgers. And all her job was basically to assimilate it and wrap it up.
Why have her? I would think you would have somebody that's more of a technical person, like an IT guy. Like if like a robotic arm goes
Breaks down-
haywire.
Yeah, exactly. You would
Huh.
think. But
Johnny
yeah,
Five.
but
Hey,
yeah.
Johnny Five. Johnny Five.
But yeah, I was like, "Are you kidding me?" And so, I mean, it's if you think of it, it's scary.
Huh.
I
What
mean,
is
think
it?
about like Walmart already. I mean, they're taking all the cashiers away.
Check yourself out.
I mean,
I check myself out all day. So.
But no, I mean, it is scary, and I think it is coming to a point where we're gonna have to be a little bit more useful of ourselves.
Yeah. Well, I think about because I do a lot of graphic design and stuff like that too, and my son is doing graphic design, working on that's kind of the degree path that he wants to go. And so I'm looking at all this stuff. You can do highlight an area and then type in hey, I want a tiger fighting a sunflower with elephants in the middle of it. And then AI will create this image.
Oh my gosh.
And it will impose it within that dotted circle area and automatically make it seamless into that area. I'm like, what's when I first started doing graphic design, you had to float it all in. You had to go find these. You had to hand draw some of this
layers.
stuff. Yeah, you had to layer. I mean, it was all this stuff, and now you're taking what used to take me 12 hours. They're doing in 12 seconds.
Well, I know. I saw somebody working on some web pages the other day, and you know how I learned how to make a web page was by using the HTML codes.
Codes, yeah.
And now, I mean, it's just like a little app or something, and you can create it in less than 30 minutes, and it's a full functioning website. Where it would take me weeks.
Oh yeah.
To get every page done for the website, and I'm like, where was this years ago?
Yeah.
But it's crazy.
Yeah, but I think too. I mean, I think this may be taking a couple steps back from some of these previous questions. I think you got to respect the hustle, though, in some aspect. I know if there's some things that I can do, when it goes to some of the technology things that I've learned how to do over the years, that I can do pretty quickly. Especially at our church, I do a lot of our technology at the church, and I can do them pretty quickly. And then somebody at our church tries to come in and do some of those things, and it takes them a considerable amount of time to do those things.
Yeah, for sure.
But because I have a knowledge and an expertise, I've done it for so long, I can come in and do it. And then they think, oh, Caleb does it so quick, so, I mean, it's not that big a deal. Well, I have the expertise to do those things, so respect the hustle.
Yeah. Well, that's the same, even in my job.
Yeah.
When I put somebody on a mower, for example, to mow the hospital, it takes them almost twice as long because I have a pattern down. I have certain ways that I do it for the time.
Yeah.
And so, and like you said, kind of people oh, well, let's just let Kit do it because, but it's taken me years to figure this out.
Yeah.
And so even though mine's kind of more of the physical side, but it's still kind of the same.
Yeah, so paying somebody by the job versus by the time, to me is a different thing. Because if say, for instance, like what you just said, you could do the same job as somebody else, but you could do it in a fraction of the time.
Yeah. Well, that's how we do all our jobs.
Yeah,
now. We do it by the job, not by the hour or anything like that.
But sometimes that's hard for people to understand and see.
It is very hard because we get people all the time well, how much y'all charge an hour? And we're we don't charge by the hour. If it's a big job, I'm bringing even if I have to bring in extra help, like
Yeah.
I'm bringing in extra help to get the job done.
Yeah.
And just like, I mean, there's a lady the other day, like, she's like, well, I pay my guys to mow my yard, $15-20 an hour. We're like, we don't do that, man.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, how long does it take your guy to do it? She said 5 hours. I was like, well, I'm going to bring 4 guys with me, and we'll probably knock it out in about an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And so that's where
Yeah.
that plays it. And she just didn't understand. I'm like, but I'm bringing 5 guys in. We have to pay them.
Yeah.
To where you're just paying, your guy 1 or 2 guys.
Yeah.
I'm paying 5.
Yeah.
And so she still didn't understand.
Yeah.
But, it's.
Let's just respect the hustle.
Yeah.
And it's you're paying people for their expertise and the ability to do and it's the experience that you have to be able to know that you can do that, because you with your 4 guys can do that yard in an hour and a half versus 5 hours, and then you can go and you can do another yard. You can accomplish 7 yards in what would take that one guy to do 1 yard.
Yeah, exactly.
So I mean, and I think coming back to the AI, I think AI is making people lazy. And I think it's taking away the ability for people to be creative. I think it's taking away the ability to do simple tasks. And it is taking away the people's initiative to be, to do the simplest of tasks. And the simplest of tasks removes the ability to just try.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, to just try and to fail. I mean, it's not the end of the world to fail.
No. And that's the thing. People are scared to fail. And you can't be scared to hell. You can't be scared to fail and be a hustler.
Yeah.
You can't.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you're not hustling, I mean, if you're hustling, you're not failing.
Yeah, for sure.
I think if you're hustling, you're gonna fail at least once. I mean, if you're truly hustling, if you're going as hard as you can, you're gonna fail. I mean, that's just inevitable. I mean, and this last question, I think every one of the people that I have on my list has failed. Maybe they haven't failed hard, but they've had a minor failure that has allowed them to launch.
Yeah.
And has allowed them to exceed even greater. So that leads me to my last question is, who are some people that you have known that have hustled over and over and you admire? It could be famous or it could be everyday people.
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously the big one is my father-in-law, Alan. I mean, like I said, he has his own business, and I kind of run it day-to-day operations. But, I mean, starting off, it was, he was scared. Like, he had a full-time job and he was mowing yards on the side, and he got a phone call asking to take all the CVSs from here to the Metroplex area over. And so he kind of jumped all in and really kind of did it. And, that's when I came along, and I was a sophomore in high school when I came along, I think. But yeah, I mean, it was a huge step for us. We eventually lost that contract because of the end we had on that. He left the CBS stuff, and so we lost that contract, and it was scary. It was like, what are we going to do now?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, it just jobs come in, and now it's funny because it's like we've noticed over this. Like I said, I've been doing it for 23 years. I don't know how. I mean, he was doing it, I think 8 or 9 years before I came along. But we've noticed over, like I said, I've noticed, and he's kind of noticed too, over the 23 years that I've been around, is that if we lose a job, we normally gain 2.
Yeah.
And so it's always, and sometimes it's a blessing, because it's kind of a pain or way out of the way or something like that. But, we never like to lose a job ever. And so, I mean, that's not, and that's always a trying thing because, like I said, I mean, it makes you ask a lot of questions like, why do we lose it, and all this stuff. And for the most part, it's nothing that we've done. It's just, finances or something like that. But I mean, there's been a couple things that we've done, guys have broken windows and it's kind of made customers mad, and that's understandable too. But I mean, like I said, we've been going on, I know, well over 25 years now. And just the hustle that we still have to put in, even after 25 years, to stay where we're at. And so, like I said, I mean, he supports his family. I make enough to support my family, and we got 3 other guys that are making a living off of it as well. And so,
And y'all do salary too.
yeah, we do salary, and so it's
Like even in the seasons to where you're not mowing yards.
yeah. And so, I mean, thankfully, a lot of ours are commercial properties,
Yeah.
and so even like in the droughts and stuff in the winter times, they still want their parking lots looking good. They want all the trash picked up. Any dead shrubs they want out. So we stay busy, but it's not like every single day. But we're fortunate enough to where we know what we're going to bring home.
Yeah.
Every 1st and 15th, we know what we're bringing home, and that I think that's a comfort zone for everybody too.
Yeah.
And so, but yeah, first and foremost, it's my father-in-law. I mean,
Yeah.
He's built a great business.
Yeah.
And so, and I guess the second one, I mean,
No, it's my turn.
oh, sorry,
My turn.
sorry.
See, my at the top of my list. I'm not going in any order, so I don't want to offend anybody.
Yeah, I'm not either. I'm just saying.
But I have you.
Me?
I have you on my list
Uh-oh.
as a hustler because you have all of these multiple sports that your kids are involved in. You do all of the hustle, like just this past weekend. Like how many sports? Or this past week, how many sports did you coach?
It was rough. I only coached Cal because.
But how many teams are you coaching right now?
Well, I help with all 3 kids.
Yeah, but and then like Kinsley is softball and volleyball
And basketball.
Yeah, that's just one kid.
That's just one kid.
Yeah, and then you work full time, and on top of that, your husband.
Yep.
You have 4 kids, and you are running for school board council. So, like, as if everything else wasn't already full,
Yeah.
you're hustling, running for school board council. To me, that is huge. And so I want to say, dude, you are hustling. You are hustling hard. And, man, I want to say, dude, keep it up.
It's just, I mean, youth and children have a soft spot in my heart, man.
Yeah.
And that's why I do it. I really do. I don't do it for me. I don't do it for anybody else. I do it for the children. And so, thanks, man. That really hits home. But no, that's cool. Thanks.
Yeah. Well, man, and I say this, I say it on our podcast. I endorse you. I endorse you to run for school board, dude. Like, I have your back. I mean, and I know for me, you're one of my projects that I've been doing graphic design for.
Yeah.
You're going to start seeing banners around town here, and you may have gotten a sticker, or you've seen some things on Facebook and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, man, go out and vote May 4th. May the 4th be with you.
Yeah.
And go vote for Kit Sparks for our Mineral Wells ISD school board member. Nothing to say bad about the other guys that are running.
No.
But this guy right here loves the Lord. He loves our students. He is invested not only with his kids, but with the other kids in our Mineral Wells, Palo Pinto area. And I know he is a go-getter, and I know that he will do everything in his power to make sure that the students of Mineral Wells are being taken care of, the teachers are being taken care of, and not only that, but that the administrative, but the families of Mineral Wells are being taken care of.
Yeah.
And I've seen that play out, and he's not even on the school board yet, and he is already taking care of that. So win, lose, or draw, this guy right here is already going to be taking care of families in our community regardless. So, and that's why I say Kit Spark is a hustler.
Well, I appreciate that.
So,
For sure.
So, all right, now you go to your second one.
Well, I was going to say you on the next one. I really was.
Yeah.
And so, no, but I mean, it's kind of the same with you, the way you invest in the youth, the way you invest in my family. The baseball program here, obviously because your son's involved, but I mean, everybody on that first name basis on that team, and it's just they look up to you, they enjoy the PA stuff that you do, and it's really cool to see you out there hustling and not only that, I mean just the getting in the school system. I know that's super tough as a youth minister, but I mean you do it in such a way that it's not. I don't know how to say it.
It's not abrasive.
Yeah, it's not like we're cramming Jesus down their throat. And so it's such a cool way, just like placing the rocks in the lockers, and
Yeah.
man, that takes some hustle to kind of figure out how you can get in there and not be just obviously breaking the law. I mean, ultimately that's what they're going to say.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, that takes some skill and takes some hustle to kind of figure out how we can get around that.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, to me, that's just awesome.
Yeah, I got a whole list of people.
Well,
like,
I do too. So we can keep going. I mean,
yeah,
whatever.
I don't want to get I don't want to run out of time, but I do want to list my brother. My brother Josh, he does backstage graphics in Longview, Texas. In fact, the hats that we're wearing, he hooked us up, did our logo on it, backstage, hooked us up. Trophy Bros, man, he laser engraved leather patches on our camo hats. Man, he hooked us up. He is like the epitome of hustle. Ever since I've known him, he's been one of those guys who has always, like, just for grins and giggles, has taken stuff apart just to see how stuff works and then put it back together. And every now and then it might have something that shakes inside of it that we don't know why it shakes and why it rattles a
But
little
it still
bit.
works.
It still works. But he is one of those guys that, I mean, if there was ever anybody that hustled, he is a poster child of hustle. Like, owns his own business, I say that he has never failed to the point to where he's like failed in business, but he has had equipment that has broken, and yet somehow he has gotten it to miraculously work.
Right.
And I've seen him, like, he has done T-shirts, like he has done like thousands and orders of thousands and thousands of T-shirts, like on screen print, to where he is manually doing it to where his rotator cuffs are so sore, like to where it's hurting him so bad. And he's doing it all by himself. And every now and then, like, and his kids and wife would come and help too. My parents would help him, and he would do it till like crazy hours in the morning doing those things. And he would do it because he had taken an order and he was going to be honorable. He was going to have integrity and he was going to have character to fulfill those orders. Yep. And now because of that, he has built a business that he has been able to get equipment that makes his job easier. He's been able to build relationships with people that have been customers that are loyal to him, that come to him, that trust him, that have invested in him, that have allowed him to buy equipment that he probably never dreamed that he would have. Yeah. And now he has been able to get stuff that has, man, he's blown that business. And even in seasons to where it's traditionally not allowing him to do the things that he normally does, he's been able to branch out and take some risk and do some things that he doesn't normally do. Like they're doing freeze-dried candy now.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
And that's cool. I love it. So if you're listening and you're in the East Texas area, go hit them up, get some freeze-dried candy. Man, it is awesome.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I love him. I mean, I can tell you, I'll run down. I got like Mark Pennington. He has his own fabrication company that does metalwork. Matt Ritchie, Unlimited Concepts in Weatherford. Man, dude is a hustler. He works with me doing PA system up at the baseball field. Man, if I tell you anything, that guy has a dog, Charlotte, that he takes everywhere. That guy is a hustler. I mean, he is a lovable guy, almost as lovable as his dog, Charlotte. I mean, I look at my brother-in-law, Matt Ellis, who has just started a music studio. I mean, they've hustled to get everything that they have, built a wonderful, wonderful business from the ground up. And I think of even like I did a wedding this weekend of Martin and Macy Alexander, and I see that couple is such a hustling couple. Yeah. They work hard. Yes, they are blessed with incredible family, but they are hard workers.
Oh, absolutely. I
mean, they work their butts off. And so I think of like this idea when I think of a hustler, that somebody that just hustles so hard. It's like a butterfly that is in a cocoon. And I think you have to go through a hardship. You have to struggle in some idea. And I remember this illustration as a youth pastor. I've used this illustration. If you were to see a butterfly start to come out of its cocoon, and you started to help it, say you started to cut the cocoon and help that butterfly come out, that butterfly would not be developed correctly.
Yeah.
It has to force itself to come out of that cocoon. It's like a chemical process of forcing itself out. And as it forces itself out of that cocoon, it forces its wings to develop, to come out of that cocoon properly. And when it does, all of its the chemical reaction helps to produce and develop that butterfly properly to where its wings develop, its bodies develop, and it enables it to fly in a way that is designed to be as a butterfly. And if you help it, if you make it into a shortcut, it handicaps it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the same way for anyone who genuinely tries to cut corners. If you do that to somebody who is hustling, you're handicapping them.
Yep, absolutely.
And I've seen that play out on a baseball field. I've seen that play out on a football field. People who are so talented and gifted, when you enable them and you just allow them to use their talents and you don't force them to hustle, you're forcing them to be like that butterfly that you cut out of that cocoon. You're not allowing them to develop their wings and to fly.
Yeah.
And I love that idea of taking somebody who is so God-gifted, talented, and applying that hustle and allowing them to reach that fullest potential.
Well, you say all that, but some prime examples that I have listed as well are like John Spillers, Owen Ramsey.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
My brother Clay in the electrician side of it. And I mean, he's a police officer, but he did electrician before. And for those guys to take, there's nothing those guys can't do.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they know so much, and it's just because they've hustled to do everything.
Yeah.
Anything they could do, anything they could take apart, anything. I mean, John and Owen, oh my gosh, those guys can do anything.
Engineer geniuses.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And so, but then I think we left some most important people is our wives.
Oh yeah.
In the nursing field, man, you talk about a hustle.
Yeah.
I mean, especially during the pandemic. Oh man, they were the true heroes there.
Oh yeah.
And so, I just didn't want to leave them out because I'm sure we would have heard something.
Yeah.
I love you, Kaylee.
Yeah. I love you too, Mindy.
But yeah, no, it's
Oh, they hustle in general. I mean, for one, they're married to us. They got to hustle.
Yeah.
But to be a wife and to have kids, to have a job, and to have kids.
Yeah.
I mean,
and have the life we have, always busy.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, man, you just got to hustle. That's it.
Yeah, and rotten fruit will fall by itself, and a hater's gonna hate, and I think that's gonna be rotten fruit, and it's gonna fall by itself. It doesn't need somebody who hustles to look back at it and acknowledge it.
Nope.
Rotten fruit's gonna fall.
Yep, absolutely.
All right, so that's all the questions I have, but one of the things that we always do.
Always do.
We always do. We always got to end with a win.
Always.
You got your win?
Yeah. I'll let you go first, though.
All right. So for me, I mentioned this earlier. I did a wedding this weekend. And one of the things that I always do, I preached on this at this wedding. I talked about Jesus turning water into wine. And that's one of the things that I love to talk about when I do a wedding. And when Jesus turned water into wine, Jesus didn't turn that water into hooch. He turned that water into the premier, best of best wine.
Yeah.
And so, as I was talking to this couple, it was reminding myself and to them as well, the way that we love each other, the way that we love our spouse. We love better than the day before.
Yeah, absolutely.
We love, like Jesus turned that wine that was like that should have at the end of the wedding feast was less inferior than the wine at the beginning of the party. He turned that wine that was at the end better than the wine that was at the beginning. We're supposed to love better than the day before.
Yep.
And so as I was reminded of that, I was encouraged myself as I was reminding everybody at that wedding that we're called to love better than the day before, our spouses and each other. Like, I'm supposed to love you better than yesterday.
Yeah, hopefully you do.
That's my win.
No, my win is like we talked about. I'm running for school board. I'm doing all this stuff and just looking out for these kids of Pelican County and just the Middle Wells district. And I mean, I found great joy in coaching, helping with the youth, and doing all this. And I hope and that I can continue on. And I mean, I will continue on either way, win or lose. But I want to make a difference. And so, I mean, some great coaches and teachers and everybody that hustled and motivated me, you know, really poured into me, and I just want to do the same thing. And so, I mean, that's my main focus and my main drive is to make Middle Wells a better place and make Middle Wells a place nobody wants to leave. And so, that's my win.
Boom. I got you. It's good stuff. Well, that does it for this episode of Trophy Bros. Every day I'm hustling.
Every day.
Every day we're hustling. Till next time, we'll catch you on the flip side.
See y'all.
Thank you for listening to Trophy Bros.
You can reach us through email at trophybrospodcast@gmail.com.
Make sure to also check us out on Facebook.
And if you like our podcast, make sure to like, share, follow, and rate us.
We're the Trophy Bros, and we'll catch you next time.
See ya.